Pauline Hanson is facing heated backlash this morning after using her first address at the Press Club to declare Australia cannot be multicultural. Ms Hanson used the national speech to warn high migration has caused the country to lose its identity, driving us into a state of crisis.
We cannot be a multicultural society. We are a multiracial society, but we must be monocultural. Australians must live under the one cultural umbrella.
Ms Hanson's political opponents, including the Prime Minister, have been quick to hit back, saying diversity is a strength of modern Australia. For their take, let's bring in Sunshine Coast Mayor Rosanna Natoli and WA Opposition Leader Basil Zempilas. Morning to both of you. Basil, what do you make of Pauline's call to end multiculturalism in this country?
It sort of takes a little bit of interpretation, doesn't it? You really have to sort of analyse exactly what she said. I think on face value, actually, multicultural is what we have called Australia. But her description, multiracial, also fits. Multiracial is people from lots of different parts of the world living in Australia. And I think we get that and accept that. We can say, yes, that can fit. So when she talks about monocultural, I think what she's talking about is wanting everybody who comes from other countries to adopt the values, practices, philosophy, traditions of this country. And I don't think there's a lot wrong with that, actually. I think it's what my family did. It's what families from all over the world have done when they've come here. And I think the real examination of what she said is she wants to stamp out that extremism that has sometimes been given unfettered access to Australia. So I think if you analyse it word for word, and I'm not here to be an apologist for her or a supporter of hers, but I think when you break it down like that, I think it does make sense, and I think it's why One Nation continues to rise, because of that sort of explanation that she's been giving people.
OK, Rosanna, Pauline also took aim at people coming into the country who can't speak English. She says, how can you generate social cohesion if people can't speak the language? What do you think of that?
Well, when my parents arrived in the 1950s, they could not speak the language, and they learnt it while they were here and assimilated and became a very strong part of Australian culture, like millions of other people. I think that what we're talking about here is a sector of the Australian community that doesn't see themselves reflected in policy, and that has happened over decades. And so now we see a little of that being reflected back, and that's why we're seeing that surge in support for what Pauline Hanson is saying. And I think if you think about what we are as Australians, and we are multicultural, we have people from all over the world living here. What we do need is to share the same values. We need to share the belief in trust and honesty and respect for other people. That's what it is. And I guess if we're all pulling in the same direction, in the same unity that way, then that's what we should be aiming for, not everyone looking, eating or singing the same songs. Yeah. That is, that's what we need to be.
So, Basil, a lot of people watching this morning would say exactly like you two. My family, whoever it was, came here from another country years ago. They couldn't speak English when they came here, but they learnt really quickly because that's what this culture sort of demanded to get on. Yeah. Basil, what do you think with her saying you now, under her regime, if she got in, you should learn English before you got here? Is that important, Basil?
Well, I'm hoping what Pauline Hanson is saying is that if you come here, you've got to learn English. That you've got your intent has to
once
be
you get here.
To learn and embrace the English language, because that is the language that is spoken here in Australia. You can't argue with that.
And do you think that's slipped, Basil? Do you think people come here and then they just don't?
Well, I think some people come here and don't. And I don't think we should encourage that. And I don't think we should say, oh, that's OK. We want people like Rosanna's, like my family, like millions of other Australian families to embrace the culture of this country when they come here, from the moment they come here. And I don't think that argument is unpopular or unfounded. I think it's fair enough.
OK. Do you think she's hit the nail on the head with the assimilation, Rosanna? Do you think we have a problem with sectors of the community coming in from overseas and not assimilating, or is she barking up the wrong tree?
I think that a lot of Australians do want to see people who come here adopt our culture, adopt our language, adopt some of our lifestyle, because that's the reason they came, because of what we offer. And I guess it depends on which part of Australia you're in, because we don't see that here where I live. We don't see pockets of cultures that are not assimilating. So I guess that depends on where you are largely as well.
Yep. OK, everyone. The hotline's open. Tell us what you think. Moving on, all businesses in Victoria will soon be required to let staff work from home at least 2 days a week under draft laws being introduced this week. And those businesses will also have to pay for any equipment defined as essential to allow people to work in their homes. Basil, this could really be expensive for small businesses.
Wow. I mean, small business has been absolutely murdered in the most recent federal budget. And boy, this is going to hurt in Victoria if this comes in. If the Victorian people vote for this at the next election in November, that's effectively what they will get the opportunity to do. What an impost that is on small businesses, on families. So not only having to allow people to go and work from home 2 days a week, but basically pay for them to be able to do it. That seems very unfair to me, and I don't know what impact it's going to have on productivity, that's for sure.
Yeah, productivity, a big problem, Rosanna. People want to work from home, though. The Liberal Party found that in the last election. An employer can refuse a worker's request only if it has a significant impact on their business, their safety, the supervision, training, professional development of a business. How do you think this is going to work in Victoria?
Well, I think what's really difficult here is when you mandate either way, that you can't ever work from home or that you are able to and you must pay for that. I think when businesses and governments and employees are able to work that out together in a reasonable relationship, that's when you get the real magic, where you have a good relationship, where people work, where you increase productivity, and there's that flourishing. If you mandate it, then that's where the difficulty is. So that's where I have real concerns that for some businesses it simply wouldn't work, and for others that is going to be totally manageable. And let's not forget that there's a large sector of people who would love to work from home and simply can't because of the nature of their job. So where do you get the equity in there? Healthcare workers, educators, retail workers, none of them have the option of being able to work from home 2 days a week. So it's going to be a tough one if you mandate it.
We'll watch and see. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Hisha.
Bye-bye.